Okay. Let's see. We're getting our settings right. So bear with us for a second. I am going to check on a secondary device to see if we have audio. Um, going to check to see if we have audio, and then we're going to go ahead and get gears moving. So my apologies. Bear with me for just a second. Um, let's see. All right. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. So I'm just confirming that I have audio here, and we are live. We are live. Good afternoon, good morning, uh, good evening, whatever you are tuning in from. Beautiful people, it's a beautiful new week. It's a Monday here. It is February 9th, 2026. I hope that you have either had a marvelous day already, if it's nighttime, whatever you're tuning in from, or you're having a marvelous day. I am here in the USA, and I'm coming live to you, beautiful people. I'm a Kenyan living in here in the diaspora. Um, uh, who I produce travel videos, lifestyle content, and do-it-yourself projects that connect my Kenyan heritage excuse me, that connect my Kenyan heritage with my hybrid diaspora experience here in Virginia, USA. So I want to heartily welcome you to today's live stream. This live stream for today is part of my daily uh, February challenge of live streaming every single day. This is one of our strategy to scale up, level up, and grow our channel and grow our community. So kindly drop an emoji, drop your flag, let me know where you're tuning in from, where you are watching from. And welcome if you're new here to this space. I appreciate you being here, truly. If this is your first time being here, thank you. If you're a returning subscriber, my OGs, my real ones, thank you, beautiful people, and welcome. Let's have a conversation. So today's topic, this is a hot topic that is going on right now around the world. But first, before we get started, I want to throw a special shout out to the Seattle Seahawks. They just won the Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm doing that because we're Seahawks here, right here, Seahawks. We're Seahawks, so we're gonna throw that right back at my team. That's we just won our second Super Bowl. Anyways, that's just a little tidbit. But welcome to today's live stream. Let's have a conversation, whatever you're watching from. And I also want to say thank you before we continue to all of you beautiful people, our amazing, beautiful souls, for getting us to 1K. But the journey doesn't stop there. The journey continues. Kindly watch our videos from beginning to end. Help us achieve watch hours. We are remaining with about 2,000 watch hours. And what watch hours really are, it is the amount of time that you spend on watching my live stream, my video, or my vlogs. Each 1 hour of watching an entirety of a video, if it's 1 hour, 60 minutes, helps towards watch hours. And we need about 4,000 watch hours to do that. That's about 240,000 minutes. So kindly, I don't ask you to watch all my videos. Go check out my vlogs, my live streams, whatever connects with you, whatever resonates with you. Watch that, share with a friend. You can even leave it in the background while you're just hanging out in the house. Tie it muted and let it play through. That's helping me to achieve watch hours. So welcome. So today's topic, my beautiful people, um, I'm thinking, is moving to the diaspora the dream, or is this a strategy, or is it a way to survive? So that's when I'm thinking about this, and this is a conversation that I've been having with several people, and I'm seeing it popping in different spaces and whatnot. And I said maybe that's going to be a topic that we can dissect a little bit in today's live stream. I'm hoping that we can quickly get this chopped up real quick, and then I can go back, head to work here. So this is how I'm spending my lunch break here to with you, my beautiful people. We're moving with intentionality, with purpose, trying to make sure that we are producing at least one live stream every single day. And Frank. Day with Frank also added another challenge. He was inspiration for this February live stream, daily live stream. He added another challenge. He wants me to produce 3 shorts a week with trending sounds. So we have yet to do that. It's the first. It's Monday, so we'll see if by Friday or by Sunday we would have achieved our goal. So Frank, remember to hold me accountable. So let's get right into it, beautiful people. Let's get right into it. So if you are living in the diaspora, if you're thinking about moving to the diaspora, if you lived in the diaspora and you have returned home or you're considering going back, this is really a conversation that I want to hear from you, and I want to hear your perspective and your thoughts about how how has this how is this shaping you, how is this has it did it shape you, what are the decisions that have pushed you or made you to consider moving back to Africa or to wherever your home is after you lived in the diaspora, or what are the reasons why you're deciding to go to diaspora. So this is a it's not an easy topic for a lot of people. I think a lot of times what the media shows you mostly is about poverty. It's about uh, uh, it shows you the image that Africa is poor, that Africa doesn't have the resources. It shows us that we are fleeing the continent in mass exodus to to go to America. And part of it is like when we were growing up as a kid, America was portrayed as the land of milk and honey. However, the real truth is that Africa has resources. Africa is plentiful. We have gold, we have minerals, we have everything. But the dream has always been sold that Africa, that you have to go to the UK to get an education, that you have to go to America to get an education. Yes, they have the best institutions and infrastructure in the world, but that is how systematically these systems were designed and engineered to ensure that Africa was never developed, that the infrastructure was never put there, and so that being told that America is the best. You're being told the UK is the best because America is for America and for America only. Right? That's what's happening right now. But by the way, that beautiful performance by Bad Bunny last evening, that was just right there. It was beautiful to see that immersion of culture and that rich tapestry that is contradictory to what's going on in this country right now. That was a beautiful, beautiful kidole yakatikati to what's going on right now in this country and everywhere else. So a lot of migration movements that happen, especially from folks from Africa, beautiful people. And I'm also kind of sharing this from my own perspective. So if it is not applicable to you, I understand, just to know that this is coming from my own perspective. A lot of people that are moving from the diaspora mostly, they're looking for access to opportunities, access to resources. And that's what I've shared on this, on my platform, that I'm not anti-American, I'm not anti-UK or anti-anything. I'm blessed to be here. I'm blessed to have access to the resources, to the opportunities that we have, but we have to be real. We have to be real because we know that Africa is the future. We know that Africa is the dream. Right now, there's a mass exodus of African Americans, native born, and also white folks that are migrating from this country, from Europe, from the West and the East, moving back to Africa. They're settling in Ghana. They're settling in Zanzibar. They're settling in Kenya. There's a huge movement of folks that are going back home, and they're building and investing, and they're thriving successfully because the dream was always sold. The narrative was also sold that Africa is poor, that Africa is nothing, that Africa wants you there. But the truth is happening, and you're seeing what's happening right now with the current political climate in this country, that folks don't feel safe, that folks don't feel like they want to be here. Folks are trying to flee. The opposite of that migration from Africa to America and to the other parts of the world now it's happening. Vice versa now. It's reversing itself. Folks are moving back to the motherland. And so for me, at least from my own experience and from my own perspective, what I see that a lot of Africans that have moved or migrated, and I actually had this conversation the first time that I met Ayamara. Ayamara told we were having this conversation, and we were talking about like what differentiates one kid from a kid that is born in Manhattan or a kid that is born in a village in Buhansa, Kenya, or Nairobi, Kenya. What differentiates them, uh, the two of them? It's access to opportunities, access to resources, access to love, or access to uh, to opportunities to thrive and prosper. For instance, poverty is the enemy in my village. Poverty is the enemy in my village. I'm saying this because you have brilliant young kids that are lacking access to resources, financial resources to go to school, to find jobs, to find opportunities. And that is the same case and point as me here. My own experience of my migration from Kenya to here was facilitated out of the need for my own dad realizing that he lacked the resources and opportunities to be able to support his family. So he decided to move and migrate and give up everything he had to come over to the US. And after he had settled, then also uh, realized that it was easier for us to have access here to education. For instance, education up to 12th grade is free. In Kenya, education is not free. So it's only once you get to college that you have to worry about the exorbitant cost of education. But we realize that from that early age, so that access to opportunities and resources is the reason why I was able to come here. So it is a strategy for survival. So kind of to piggyback to what my story with what when the first time I met Maro said throughout his access and travel to more than almost 100 different countries if you repeat, but I think he always shares that he's been to more than 74 different countries across the globe. He realized that with him, the one thing that made it impossible, although he was a big traveler, is that his passport mattered. His Kenyan passport was either uh, was either a drawback from him accessing coming to the United States or accessing different countries that he was turned away because of what? Not having the right type of passport. So that passport is access to opportunities. So my friends, some of my friends are, who have come over here, they will be honest with you, like, hey, when we're traveling across different countries in Africa, like we wish that we had a joint passport where boundaries and borders were not as they are right now, because this is all systematically created from the colonizers and the colonization mindset that folks are not realizing that you as an African, you should not be moving, having to pay a visa to travel to your neighboring countries. My beautiful people, if you're joining this live stream, kindly give me a thumbs up. Let me know where you're watching from. Drop your flag, drop your emoji. We're talking about is the diaspora dream uh, the reality, or is it a facade? Is it a strategy or a survival tactic? So, majority of the folks that I know, they will tell you that their goal was to tap in and come to the diaspora, work hard, go to school, work hard, get a job, and maybe get access to a passport that uh, is going to give them the freedom to have duality to be able to travel to any countries. For instance, if you have an American passport opens doors for you to any country that you go to. You might have to pay a visa, but if you have an American passport, I guarantee you that it's a lot easier for you to travel more than anything else. So that is the flex that you're seeing right now. Why are our black brothers, our brown brothers and sisters migrating with a mass exodus back to the motherland where they're being embraced? For instance, in Ghana, they are being given free land and so many different things. We have our brothers and sisters that are now building businesses. Now they're thriving. They're helping, teaching and starting companies that are now helping African Americans to go back to the motherland. Traverse culture, she's doing that already. You're talking about Austin Holloman, and there's controversies about him being a passport bro, kid the greatest, and so many other creators that I can think about that are really, really pushing and showing people a different side of Africa, because the dream that was sold, the Africa that was never shown on TV, is poverty. And it's so amazing that people now are trying, and now it took Aisha Speed to a certain extent for him to show how much he was embraced in Africa. Aisha Speed, as much as he's big with his fame, with his influence, when he was in China, when he was on these different countries, the way that he was treated, he was discriminated because of the color of his skin. But when he's in the motherland, when he's in Kenya, when he's having 50 million viewers tuning in, when he's amassing subscribers left, right, and center, and he's feeling home, that exposure right now is showing you that the dream that you were sold about Africa is not true. So a lot of folks that are migrating from the US to go to the diaspora, one, they're escaping poverty. One, they're seeking access to opportunities. Three, they are also seeking access to that passport, because that passport is the access, it's power, the power of the passport, the power of the European passport, the American passport that opens doors and allows you to travel anywhere with no questions asked. So people are being real that yes, this is a survival, this is a strategy. I'm coming here, yes, I'm going to come and build a life, I'm going to work hard, but at the same time, the dream, the future is Africa. And this is what I was connecting to. Maro told me, I think it was 2024 when I first met him, he said, what he wants to be able to give his kids is that he wants them to have a European or American passport so that they can easily travel and access borders without any issue. The reason why he decided to have a spouse of a different race than he did is so that he can provide his kids with access to resources. So my beautiful people, we're talking about, is moving to the diaspora the flex, or is it the real dream? Is it the reality, or is this a strategy or survival? So from my standpoint and from my circle of people that I know, the conversations that we are having, the conversation that we have had, what I'm hearing, a lot of my friends, they have come, the ones that have stayed, been successful in this country, here in America, every one of them is building and investing back home. None of my friends in my circle, I haven't met one person who, every one of my friends is like, hey, I want to go to Kenya next time. Or when are you going to Kenya so that we can coordinate and do things together, or even have like a brotherhood together. Every one of my friends that I have met, that I have a connection with, that is of the diaspora, no one is telling me about like, yeah, I'm thinking about, I'm gonna be retiring here in 20 years, blah blah blah. A lot of my friends are like, look, I'm already calculating like what I have now is I have a job that provides a stable income, and I'm trying to finger myself. I'm trying to squeeze myself a little bit, put a little bit of chunk, and put aside to invest back home. Either I want to have a home that I can go back to and live comfortably. I want to try to put some money aside. By the time that I'm able to retire, then I can start a business. And then if I get successful, because not all my friends have an American passport. So if they get lucky, some of them are still on work visas. They're still on permanent resident visas or green cards and stuff like that. But as you can see right now, it is a very fragile and scary time in this country. Even a person who has, even if you've been naturalized as a citizen, even if you have your green papers, your green card papers, you have never committed a crime, you have never gotten a speeding ticket, we're moving at a space that we got to be very careful. We got to calculate, because every interaction that you have with law enforcement or with ICE or whatever else, that interaction can either be positive or negative. And now they're not looking at you like you have committed a crime or whatever. They can justify whatever they whatever reason they want just to detain you. and it's become like a game for them and whatnot. Um, I'm getting a call here, but we're in the middle of a live stream, so we're gonna have to return that call later. So I'm saying all this to say that the American dream is not what it is. For the folks that I know, for my friends, really, the American dream or the diaspora dream has really become a strategy for them to survive, a strategy for them to come and build, get the resources they need, and then be able to now invest back home. Uh, and so everyone you're talking to, their narrative or their story about why they're coming is different. And we have to understand that narrative shapes movement. Narrative shapes movement because everyone is either, because we know in a lot of African countries, we still have a lot of civil wars going on. We have a lot of economic instability. You have a lot of countries that were destabilized by Western policies and whatnot. So those are valid a lot of. So we have that essential people that are moving for survival, for safety. But also you have people that are moving because of they already have resources and opportunities, but they're wanting to grow and be find more opportunities for themselves. So that narrative, everyone's narrative becomes shapes their movement and the reason why they're deciding to move. So everyone that you meet is not gonna be have the same narrative. But essentially, a lot of folks that I'm meeting, a lot of folks that I know, they're gonna tell you the power of that passport. The power of that passport. That passport power has created a privilege, has created a status that they're now wanting to acquire that. And once they acquire that, majority of them they just go back because now they have access to be able to just move and travel anywhere without any restrictions. So that's a big part of that. Um, yeah, so let's take a beat here. So if you're tuning into this live stream after it has already aired, I want to say thank you. Welcome. We're having a conversation talking about is the diaspora dream the reality? Is it a facade? Is it a strategy that majority of our African brothers and sisters are using to scale up and build resources and invest back home? Or is it out of necessity for survival and whatnot? Um, yeah, so I know a lot of my people that I have met, a lot of people that I talk to, uh, everyone is not, no one is telling you that they want to stay right now. No one is really telling you that they want to stay in the diaspora anymore. Very few people that I'm meeting in my circles or through different interactions, no one is saying that they want to stay. But the mindset is we want to get ours and we want to build and invest. They're not, they have assimilated to the culture, they have assimilated to the system, as much as we know that the American culture shapes how other cultures have evolved, especially when we talk about black culture in this country, in America. Black culture has penetrated every element of aspect of our lives, be it don't matter where you're from. Talking from music, from jazz, from hip hop, from R&B, especially hip hop, like the swag, like everything about black culture is unique and it's identifiable and it's relatable to a lot of people, a lot of kids and stuff like that. So because of that, it's translated in so many different elements and different aspects of how life across the world is. And yet, there's a reverse mass exodus now. It's like our folks now finally see, and they've been exposed now to see as much as our African brothers and sisters are coming here, getting resources and going back to invest, getting that privilege of a passport, but also folks from here, even white folks, are now also moving back. If you ever been a diplomat or you know somebody who's a diplomat, if they were stationed somewhere else, especially in Africa, those people don't come back and retire in America. No, they're going back to retire in Zanzibar, to retire in Mombasa, Kenya. They're living life of privilege and abundance because if you have resources, if you have money, you can live like a king or a queen at a very affordable cost of living in Africa. So the dream that you've been sold is because they have tried to tighten a knot on it so that you don't know that, so you don't get to see that. And also with our own folks, that mindset that because I've seen it, like our folks back in Kenya, they're quick to dismiss you as another Kenyan to serve food for you if you're in a restaurant or waiting, and they're quick to jump and serve that tourist that looks a different color because they think they have more money than you, but they don't even know your status and whatnot. And I've had on many occasions when I'm back home in Kenya, I've been in a bank where I've seen Indians just getting walking, cutting the line of 15 people. They just walk and go straight to the line. I've had white people do the same. And I actually had to stand my ground and tell them, go back to the back of the line because everyone here is waiting and stuff like that, which they're looking at me like I'm crazy. But at the same time, you stand by your principles, you stand by your ground, because you cannot treat your own people with less while we're still struggling here with the same inferiority complexes and stuff like that, of how people of a certain shade or skin color are being treated. All of this is to say that there's a mass exodus of folks going back home because they know Africa is the future, Africa is the dream. The wars that are going to be fought in the future are going to be about water, resources. Look at what tech billionaires and geniuses are buying. They're buying land. They know something that we don't know. Not to get controversial or political in any sort of way, but it's just an awareness that when people move, they're not moving to abandon their lands. They're moving. Sometimes it's for expansion, expansion of resources, expansion to be able to build and invest. So those are just a couple of my thoughts of thinking about movement from the motherland and movement to the diaspora. But right now in 2026, yes. But also you have to understand where you come from. I'm not saying this out of a place of bitterness, of anger, or anything like that. I'm just sharing here, but also being real that the real flex is that Africa is the future, Africa is a dream. Let's be real. Majority of us that have had the opportunity to come here to diaspora, a lot of folks that we know are all wanting to go back home and invest. So it's become about a strategy for survival, a strategy to gain resources, to gain that passport power that gives you the privilege to be able to travel and have borders open for you with no questions asked. But yeah, let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think about this. I know I would wish for this conversation to keep going on because it's a very interesting conversation. Maybe we can do a second part to this conversation and really, really get in and hone in. Um, but I think the takeaway from this is really like, uh, for me at least, I know that I'm grateful for the abundance of resources and opportunities that have allowed me to be able to move and travel work. Right now, I'm on my lunch break. I'm just coming here to share with you this daily live stream. Uh, but when we're being real and honest in 2026, really what the diaspora is providing for us is access to opportunities and resources. So we're having real conversations. We're having real thoughts and sharing and whatnot. So I want to hear from you. If you have moved from diaspora, you came here to go to school, you work here, you have a family, you got a green card, and you moved your family over here. What are you thinking? What is your future? Do you believe that Africa is a future? Africa is a dream. But if that's the case, the reason majority of our brothers and sisters are moving back and investing is because we build the infrastructure, we build the roads, we build the government systems that are going to be functional, that are going to provide convenience, efficiency, and accountability. Then I don't think that you're going to have any of our brothers and sisters to see the diaspora as the strategy or for survival or the strategy for them to level up. Because if we build Africa and then we provide these resources, then we're going to open our borders. And then it's going to be easy for me to move from Kenya to Zanzibar or Kenya to Morocco, Kenya to Egypt easily without requiring a visa or even a passport. That, like I said, narrative defines movement. The reason why we're moving. But anyways, those are just my thoughts, my 2 cents for Monday, February the 9th. Just came here so we can have a quick conversation. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Thank you. You're giving me a thumbs up. I appreciate you tremendously. That's a call. I think I gotta go ahead and get back to work. But at least we just had our daily live stream. So I appreciate you, beautiful people. If you watch this after this has already aired, kindly hit like. If you're new to our channel, subscribe. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think about this topic. Um, as I said in the beginning of this, thank you 1,000% for helping us to get 1K. But guys, don't sleep on me just yet. This is just a start to how we level up and get to where we want to be at. So I need you guys to watch my videos. Whatever resonates with you, share, like, and if you have been watching and you haven't considered subscribing, do me that favor and consider hitting that subscribe button. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Let's meet again here tomorrow. Have another conversation. If you have a topic you think we can dissect, or if you want us to continue with this same topic, we can definitely do that. But for every day of the month of February, we're going to be having a live stream for us to catch up and whatnot. Thank you, beautiful people. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you. I don't take any one of you for granted. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace, love, job, best. Stay safe, stay warm, and I'm out. Peace out.